Did you hear that?
The hey.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody,
Hello.
and welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in again with us on this beautiful Sunday morning, or whatever day you're watching this or listening to this. Thank you guys for um, all of your support and for subscribing to us and just kind of just giving us that motivation to continue to do this and share your excitement along with us. Now today's gonna be fun.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really definitely is.
So if you guys are just barely finding this video and you have not watched our first video, I would definitely go and watch that, listen to that before this one, just so you can kind of get an idea of where we're going with this. We'll link that down below so that way you can kind of get a general idea of what we're doing here. And then, yeah, tune back in with us.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. We have a pretty exciting episode today.
Yes. So,
Would you like to do the honors of just kind of talking about this?
So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about, I don't know if there's an actual name for it. We just always called it the haunted train tracks. So this story is basically so big that it even got down to Uvalde, the small town that I'm from. And basically the story goes, a school bus full of children were coming home from a trip, I believe. Is that how the story goes?
Well,
and
one
of them gives you a sense of, how this is gonna go.
What we're working with here.
Yeah. So, story goes, they're coming home from a trip. Bus stalls out on the train tracks. They try getting the bus to start. They see a train coming seemingly out of nowhere, and then just crashing right through the bus, taking out everybody. And that's the story we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah. So, if you are from South Texas, or mainly just being here in San Antonio, you have definitely heard a lot about the haunted railroad tracks on the south side of town. You may have visited the railroad tracks before. Your parents may have taken you, because I know my parents did when we were younger, as well as just going with friends. I can say personally, I have never had anything happen to me any of the times that I have ever gone.
And I've never personally been to said train tracks. I would always hear stories of people going, and the whole urban legend of it.
Yeah, it you hear a lot of people talk about it, and they are very deep in the whole idea that something is out there.
Yeah.
And something pushed them off the train tracks. However, every time that I have gone, we've never been pushed off. There's kind of a little bit of a hill once you go down there, so it just kind of, they've kind of redone the way they are now to where it's not as like sloped down as it was before. So It has a little bit more of a flat surface, but there still is that little hill once you get towards the end of it. But I am going to kind of go deep into a little bit of the history of where this urban legend began. Now, this legend has there's two different stories that have been tossed around of what exactly went on. And one of them is taking place in the 1930s or 40s. It's pretty much the same with both of the stories. It's around that time frame. There is...
Do you hear that, or is it just me?
No, I heard that. I think there's a crying kid outside.
A crying kid?
Did it creep you out a bit?
Or
a child. Did you follow us? Interesting.
No, that is very
because
interesting.
It
That's
stopped.
cool. Yeah,
as soon as you acknowledged it, it stopped.
Yeah.
Are you becoming less of a skeptic?
No.
Interesting. Dun,
there's
dun,
a lot of
dun.
there's neighbors that just moved into and they had like 3 kids.
There's a lot of screaming kids here at this apartment.
Yeah. Debunked.
Alrighty.
Go on.
So, the first story that we are going to talk about is going to be the one of the bus driver that is dropping off kids at end of day, has about 10 kids in there with him. He's going over the train tracks there, and the bus stalls in the middle of the train tracks. And he is trying to get that up and going, and he's trying to get the kids out of there. But the train comes too quickly and ends up taking out the bus driver and all of the 10 kids from there. Now, we're just going to kind of stop it there at that point. Once I'm done with the other second part of it, we're going to deep dive into the ghost sightings and the whole phenomenon that has gone on with the haunted tracks. Now the second one, it's a little bit more intense, I would say.
It is, yeah. It's a little more heavier.
Yeah, like it's the first part of it is very simple, but the second one is a little like, who came up with this?
Yeah, very true.
Like, this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, still taking place in the 1930s or 40s. There was a nun that was driving late at night, taking kids home from a field trip. And the kids were mainly all asleep. She is driving over those same train tracks that we were talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the bus stalls. So she's trying to get that up and going. It's nighttime. It's dark. In the process of trying to get that bus started back up again, which it is failing each time she tries, a train starts to come without any warning. Its headlamp
Yeah.
Was burnt out. Gave no warning, no horn, nothing. She was trying to get the kids up, but she failed. And where the placement of the bus and where that train was going, it ended up cutting that bus in half, instantly killing the children because they're behind. But
Miraculously
the nun flies out of the windshield and survives.
survives, man.
Survives.
Crazy is that?
So she is she's losing her mind because she feels guilty that she
she's just
survived.
so full of guilt.
Yeah.
I can only imagine,
Like, I survived, and all of those kids I was supposed to take home, they got off.
Not being her fault, of course.
No, but it's
still.
still.
You would feel guilty in some sense.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, if I was in her shoes, I would be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Why me? What the hell?
Exactly.
So she ended up going back to that same spot where she almost lost her life.
Yeah, because she was so heartbroken.
Yeah.
And just so full of guilt that she, didn't want to continue life, really. And just wanted to end it right then and there. And, yeah.
It's not funny. I'm sorry, I had a little giggle there, but it's just like that. It's wild. And
yeah.
I think about, like, how would I feel in that situation? Like,
I'd probably feel the same, but I wouldn't go to the extent of
offing yourself.
I mean, in some weird, messed up way, I'd feel like, damn, I got a second chance at life. It does suck that all those kids died, but
yeah,
it's kind of not. Again, it's like not her fault. If I was in a situation, it's not my fault. It just happened. I just got lucky. I would still carry some guilt, but
oh yeah,
I wouldn't go as far as trying to kill myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never been in that situation.
Faced with the situation, so definitely don't know how you would respond.
Exactly. I probably would feel some type of way, but not to that extreme.
Yeah. So she ended up going back there in her vehicle.
Yeah.
And she parked in the middle of those train tracks, waiting for the next train to come so that she could kill herself. She didn't want to do it anymore. She was ready to be gone. Now, in the process of that, she started to hear familiar voices. She started to hear things as that train was coming. Yeah. And again, her car was parked. Well, she ended up, in the process of all of this, getting pushed off of those tracks and rolled to safety. And, you know, the train just kind of went by. She gets out, you know, freaking out that, like, she was ready to just be gone. And that's not what happened. So when she got out, she was expecting to see a person there, like a human being there that was just trying to save her life. Yeah. She didn't see anyone there. There was nobody else there but herself, her car, and, you know, the train that just passed by. And that's when she turned back towards her vehicle and she saw small little children hand.
Children-sized handprints.
Yes.
Yeah. On
her trunk.
So thus the legend begins of, you know, the haunted train tracks. Yes. So again, as the legend goes, you go park your car on the train tracks, put your car in neutral, sprinkle baby powder, or park it, whatever. I still don't know how a car's gonna move and park, but you know, science, physics, whatever. Yeah. So you go on the train tracks, park your car, or put it in neutral, whatever. Sprinkle some baby powder on the back windshield or all over the car. I guess it don't matter. And
throw it everywhere.
Just wait for you to be pushed off of the tracks and for little baby children-sized handprints to just appear on your car too. Ta-da! Because they, so again, as the legend continues, that these children don't want to see the fate that they suffered happen to somebody else, so that's why they push you off of the train tracks.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Which I think is pretty cool. Right? Some little superhero ghosts.
Get the
fuck out the way!
I'm trying to help you. So,
yeah.
Like I said, in the previous video that we had, I'm very, very much a believer of paranormal stuff, of ghosts.
I'm still a skeptic.
Spirits, demons, all that good stuff. I am here for it. With that being said, every single time that I have visited the train tracks, nothing has ever happened. No prints. Other than your own prints, because, you know, you touch your car on a day-to-day basis and random people will touch your vehicle. Yeah, but it's not going
to be like a full handprint, though.
Yeah,
let alone a baby-sized handprint.
Yeah.
Or not baby-size, I keep saying baby-size, I mean children-size.
I don't know, Ethan touches my car all the time. He's like... smear stuff everywhere. Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
And then eats food and then gets sick.
Yeah. And then we get sick too. Oh, shit. So, every time that I have gone, I've never experienced anything. Like I said, it used to be more of like a hill, wasn't too much straight. Now it is a little bit straighter. They've definitely redone that area as the years have gone on, just because it was pretty bad, the road there, when I was younger. Now, should we talk about it?
Huh. Our experience?
Yes.
Yes.
So, tonight, we actually went out to the train tracks. Because he had never been, so I wanted him to go out. And I also wanted to debunk the legend that has gone on for so many years here in San Antonio, because...
Well, not only in San Antonio.
I mean, throughout. So many people have heard about it.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not a thing. I'm sorry. So sorry to break your hearts.
That was very anticlimactic, I feel. You just Just threw it in there. It ain't real. But
It
the
ain't
reason
happening.
the reason it ain't real is because this story actually doesn't take place here in San Antonio. It actually takes place in, where was it again?
Salt Lake City. Yep, in Utah.
Yeah.
Fucking Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
This actually did happen.
Yeah, so
where kids were killed. So
yes. So the story is real.
The story is very much real. The story goes on to be that a school bus driver was taking some kids home from school. It was snowing, and he was going slowly over train tracks.
Also foggy, yeah.
Yeah, it said something like, I'm pretty sure with like the snow, like it was just
basically that there was no visible way to see anything.
So he was going over the train tracks, and of course going slow because it's snowing. You want to make sure that you don't skid all over the place with these children.
Yeah. Especially in a big ass bus.
Yeah. In the process of that, a train actually came and struck them, and they were all killed.
Well, a bus stalled out too.
Yeah.
You neglected to mention that there is that, little detail, that is still true, that this bus still stalled out.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Just took them out. Yeah.
It's insane. I would panic. I would panic if I saw that. Like, what do you do? I can't even imagine like the train conductor, like the guilt. I mean, it's not really your fault, but like you ran straight through those children like nothing.
But I mean, you can't stop at like,
I know that.
Ton,
It's just if I was him, I would
like
have been
Spider-Man.
like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, true.
I just killed them kids. So, the story was actually, it was put in the San Antonio Express News newspaper during the time that it happened. So that's where San Antonio kind of ties into this. And I think what started it off being here was the sole fact that it was in the San Antonio Express News that people were just like, oh my god, this happened. Or it was just kind of like a takeaway, like, I don't know, maybe someone just kind of wanted to run with it and see if people would actually believe it. And well, they did. So there is that. Sorry to burst.
Sorry to burst the bubble, man.
I bursted his bubble.
Yeah.
He was really upset.
Honestly, because like I said, this story has been with me since I was a child.
Yeah.
Growing up in school, and like my friends would always talk about it, like, oh, we should go to the train tracks and test out this, see if it's true or not.
Yeah.
For me to actually be there was cool.
Yeah.
But knowing the facts afterward, because like I found out about this actually after we did it. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. So
yeah, I told him when we were going back home, I was like, so this is not real. I mean, it's real, but it's not here. So those train tracks we just went over, ain't shit happening there.
They were just train tracks.
They were. They're train tracks in a very sketch and very, very historic side of town.
Yeah.
With that being said, you are very close by to the San Juan mission, which there's a lot of history there with any of the mission, like the San Jose, like the San Juan. There's so much that has gone on there, and this is why I had told you in the car, I'm gonna save it for the podcast. That area is very sketch, not only with actual living people in that area, but the eerie feeling that comes with that area.
Yeah.
Like...
No, just driving through it, the cemetery that's there.
The cemetery that's behind Stinson Airport.
At night.
Yeah.
Through there. But I mean, that comes with territory, driving through a cemetery at night. You're gonna feel the spooks,
I never, I've rode my bike through there. I've driven through there multiple times. Gone with friends. that area was definitely somewhere that we passed through quite often when we were kids. And it has always given me an eerie feeling. But I have never experienced anything. It just kind of feels like someone's watching you. Yeah. Like there's something lurking and just kind of watching you.
No, getting the shots tonight, I felt like there was somebody in the little brush, the little foresty areas.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I felt was going to come out and, I just felt you just had that feeling of like, oh, somebody or something's going to pop out of these.
Out of the woods. Not anything with the train tracks themselves, but just so much the area. Yeah. It is very...
It's pretty sus out there.
Yeah. So. And I kept my eyes open for figures, for noises.
I low-key was hoping to get something on camera too.
Yeah, and maybe
while
like
I'm editing this, I'll see.
If we look back at the footage, there may be something there that we didn't physically see that the camera caught.
Yeah, little orbs and stuff.
Who knows? But as far as when we were there, nothing went on.
Nothing happened, man.
No, and there's a lot of stories of people seeing like figures
hearing
things. Hearing like the screeching of the wheels of a train or the whistle of it. I do have to admit though,
there was like a bunch of noises coming from the forest and also the tracks themselves. You could hear the shifting like of the metal hitting against each other, and the signs, waving back and forth in the wind.
I think that's what scares people the most is having that wooded area there. It being so dark, it's not lit up at all.
Yeah, no, it really isn't.
So I think that's what it is, where people kind of take away is that their minds start playing tricks on them, and they're like, there's something here.
That's why it's so hard for me to believe ghost stories when people say that, because it's like, okay, you hear them saying like, oh, I saw this figure, or I heard this, and it sounded like somebody was talking to me. I'm like, your mind could have just been playing tricks on you.
It's very true. Your mind is a very, very intense place.
Like, it's so easy for me to say that, like, hey, I heard, somebody was in the forest and they were just watching me.
Yeah.
When it was just the wind moving the branches.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm a huge skeptic, so sorry. I think that's going to be the theme of this this channel, this podcast.
It is turning you from a skeptic to a believer. It's happening.
But I mean, it hasn't happened yet.
We just started. My darling, we just started.
But I mean, tonight kind of proves my point. It's not real. I'm not saying it's not real, but
to say that the next place we visit,
it could just be like this, where it happened somewhere else and it wasn't actually here.
Well, that's what this podcast is for. We are here to deep dive into the beautiful urban legends that we've all been told our entire lives, and where they started, when they started, what's the actual story, and if we can visit it, then we visit it. Exactly. And maybe one day we can go to Utah and
we'll actually debunk this specific story.
Yeah.
So look out for that.
Yeah. We start traveling and doing this shit? Oh,
dude, that would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, we'll focus locally.
Yes. So. Because there's a lot that's here in South Texas.
There's a lot. San Antonio, supposedly, is the most haunted city in the United States.
Is it really?
That's what I read. I kept reading that over and over. I'm like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. This is just what people are saying.
It's just a pond for you to visit the Alamo.
I mean, that isn't ever really haunted. If I, may say so myself.
It's supposedly haunted, which we'll get into on a whole nother episode when we talk about downtown San Antonio and its hauntings.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot with that, but yeah.
Tonight was a good night.
It was a really good night.
Sorry again, a burst shells bubble on this story, on this legend, but
you can definitely tell me you hate me in the comments. It's fine. I can take it. I'm sorry I ruined your childhood of being terrified of those train tracks.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just want to go and check it out, the train tracks are there. They're not going to go anywhere. So
if you look up on Google haunted train tracks in San Antonio, it'll give you the exact spot.
It'll send you that way.
Yeah, Google has it like it's like a landmark.
It is
on there.
honestly, yeah.
Like if you Google it, it'll give you that exact, like the exact coordinates of that spot on the train tracks. So definitely go and check it out. Please be cautious when you are out there, especially at night, because
there's a lot of wackos out there.
Our world is a very intense place. So please be safe if you do go out there. Huh?
That's who we should be afraid of more, is the living.
Yes.
Not necessarily the dead.
They're terrifying.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for the support, the love, for tuning in with us. If you want to hear more, or you have stuff that you want us to deep dive into,
or debunk,
yes, please let us know. If there is anything that you heard about the train tracks, message us, let us know. Yeah, hopefully soon. What I was thinking about too is that I kind of want to do lives.
Maybe after like the third or fourth episode.
Well, later on, to where we kind of get an idea of what you guys are wanting to hear, what you feel would be a good episode for this channel. But I am super stoked.
It would be a good way to interact with y'all.
Yeah, super excited.
Oh yes, I am too.
But yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty, guys. You have a wonderful night, day, whatever it may be. Thank you guys so much again. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Oh man, I can't snap.
Oh yeah.
No.
Do it with your left hand.
I can't do it with my left hand.
See you on the next one.
Using flour and it's not sticking. My car was already pretty dirty, so it said that they're pushing you off from there. You're in the middle of everything. You're not going anywhere. Some sketch noises for sure. We're gonna check it to see if there's anything on there. So, nothing. But all the flour came down. But, as you can see, we'll start up here. Nothing. Nothing on this side. Down there. I'm debunking the story.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
For the second time.
For the second time. Living close by this place and coming multiple times, nothing has ever happened. So, I mean, it's a sketch place. Don't get me wrong. It's real fucking sketch out here. But there's nothing ghostly going on out here, unfortunately. So sorry to give you guys that today and not be able to please y'all. Bye.
You got powder all over my seat.
Did I?
It's right there.
Oh no.